President Trump also took questions during that Q&A on U.S.-led talks with Russia and Ukraine. Breaking this afternoon, both sides have agreed to eliminate the use of force in the Black Sea, according to this new White House agreement. Here is the president on this moments ago. Watch.
We're in deep discussions with Russia and Ukraine, and I would say it's going well, but it's a situation we should have never had to even think about. Should have never happened.
With that, we bring in retired four-star General Jack Keane, former Vice Chief of Staff of the Army, now Chairman of the Institute for the Study of War, and, of course, Fox News' Senior Strategic Analyst. General, welcome. Good to have you here today. Your reaction to any of the above conversation, if I may, and then also this new apparent agreement between Russia and Ukraine on the Black Sea and the significance of it.
Well, I mean, I just associate myself with what Secretary Pompeo had to say here. I mean, it's pretty obvious a mistake had been made. A reporter should not have been in a chat room with principals dealing with national security issues. All national security issues are largely sensitive, whether there's classified information there or not. Certainly a conversation the Vice President is having and expressing his mind so freely with his fellow colleagues here. He's entitled to that. And he's entitled for that information to be protected as well. I think what will happen in the future, every one of these individuals has a secure phone, and I think that's where they should have been having this conversation. Now, in all fairness to them, at times they want to collaborate together like they were doing. They spend their day from the time they get up in the morning to the time they go to bed, and a lot of it is at home as well, because they have secure phones, talking classified information, talking sensitive. That is the subject of their day. So recognize that as a backdrop to what is taking place here. But yes, mistake made, admit that mistake. I think the NSC came forward and said that right away. Principals should say the same thing and get on a secure phone and stay on it.
So tell me what you think the response from Iran is to this pushback against the Houthis, which a lot of people, as Mike Waltz just said, really wanted to see under the Biden administration, harassing our ships, blocking the passageway through the waterway there. What do you think happened because of this mission? Yeah, well,
certainly. What the Trump administration has done to separate them from Biden here, I mean, it's been absolutely outrageous to watch this go on for such a long time, that the Houthis could shut down the Suez Canal, 80% of the shipping, and continue to fire at Navy warships, and we don't take action to stop that, consequential action. I know for a fact that the CENTCOM commander, who is in charge now, during the Biden administration, had recommended over 100 targets inside of Iran to stop their attacking U.S. troops in Iraq and Syria, and what the Houthis were doing to enable warships and international shipping. And none of that was done. Now we have a president who's doing a consequential air campaign. We're 11 or 12 days into this. There's been over 100 attacks. This is not a pinprick that has been going on as it has been in the past. And he's pointing the finger directly at the Iranians and telling them to stop. Stop supplying the Houthis. Stop giving them the intelligence. Stop giving them the missiles. Stop giving them all the radars and other things that they're doing to facilitate their operations against international shipping and our warships. And that has beef behind it. That is not idle rhetoric, which the Iranians dismissed when it was made by the previous administration. And we know full well that President Trump has issued an ultimatum. He's using the word negotiations. It really is an ultimatum. Dismantle your nuclear enterprise, independent verification of it by a date certain, or suffer the consequences. Or suffer the consequences mean then the Israelis and the United States will dismantle it for you.
We'll take them out for you.
It's obvious to Iran here, Martha, that the Trump team has taken a completely different tact with Iran. They are pinning the rose on them, and they are back on their heels. And that's the reality of what we're dealing with. We have a huge opportunity here to really take Iran off the board as a major malign actor in the Middle East, which they have been for 44 years.
Absolutely. And those are the things that will have lasting consequence for all of us. We cover the day-to-day here, but we always want to take a look at the big picture as well, which you have helped us do today, General. Thank you so much. Good to have you here.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.